Yo, 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 yo. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What's poppin'? What's poppin'? What's poppin'? What's poppin'? We back for another week, man. Y'all know what to do. Back for another week. The Xperts. Presented by the Solid Podcast. It's your boy Sanzo, aka Sanzo Matic. We got with us, you know, the regular crew. We got CJ the X Factor. Posted up. We got your boy Gralyn. And we got a special guest for us tonight, our brethren, you know, COB's finest. You know, there's so many titles we can put on this dude, but, you know, Timmaay, what's poppin'?
Thanks for having me, guys. I was telling about a while. I need to write my pitch to join the show full time. You know, let me come through for 10 minutes every week.
Yeah, man.
Take it back to the court days and Trees Company.
Yeah,
NFT, boy. NFT.
them God days is rough, but
Trees Company.
yeah, it's rough. So yeah, man, how we feeling tonight, boys? How we feeling tonight?
Yeah, pretty good. You know, we got a lot of activity
6 weeks in
going
the
on.
basketball season, so you know I good.
Yeah, and the NFL about to kick off. Preseason soon done.
Definitely.
Just going on. I mean, I know we like to talk this basketball talk, right? But you know, I ain't gonna let this track and field slide.
Wait.
Some people out there mouth hard.
Let's start off with that. Then.
B,
Bring them up
you
first.
can't be out here running on, and you ain't even cracking the podium. Like, you ain't even fought. Like, you ain't like, oh, someone dip out the line and beat you from the podium. Oh, you get lightweight up.
So Eric, I assume everybody watched it live, right? If you didn't watch it live, you
I
at least see
didn't, but I was to work.
Yeah, everybody saw the replays.
You at least see the replay. So to recap, you know, a certain American sprinter, you know, we ain't calling it.
No,
Yeah, I mean-
no, because the weed gal.
Yeah.
I was talking all. I could cuss in the sport. Is this a PG sport?
Hey, listen, talk your talk. Talk
She's
your talk.
talking shit. She's talking shit, right?
Mhm.
And what I don't like personally is the Yardie Gals are also sponsored by Nike. There's a Nike meet.
Yep.
Elaine and Shelly and Nike people, right? So you would expect that Nike would do a full-fledged Nike campaign around everyone, you know? But they let their Americanness show off, and they do big ad for Sha'Carri. I had to work.
Big.
I get a notification. Sha'Carri have an ad at 3:30 because right, the race is 4:30. I see big ad for 3:30. I see Sha'Carri nails. Big ad. Okay, she coming to place. Okay, I was to work. All I see in my phone was a bunch of memes. Gal come ninth. She even come fourth or fifth. She wasn't even the best American.
No,
Two
bro.
Americans came before. I was like, wait, all this. And if I was Elaine and Shelly, I'd go to Boomer. All this,
Real.
I was Boomer. How is it
Real.
Nike athlete? How is it Nike athlete? And you talk about this guy. This guy ain't even an Olympian.
Yeah.
I just
Real.
fresh from Olympics, and
Yeah.
you even shout out to, and people don't understand. This guy run a 10.54. She
Right,
almost
that's
flow
the
Joe
thing.
record.
Yeah,
I think-
That was ridiculous.
I think she will catch it eventually, though. She will catch it eventually,
If she stays
in my
steady.
mind.
Yeah, she has
Yeah.
a good chance.
But the thing
Nah,
is, right, with Sha'Carri, right? Thing is, I actually was trying to vouch for this guy a little piece, right?
man.
Because in my like, I don't know if y'all remember, like little after the weed scandal happened, she did get like a offer from like a vape sponsorship, right? There's like maybe
Yeah.
250,000. You know what I mean? And but you should see me in my group chats. I telling my brethren like, by the she shouldn't take that because gal is projected to be like a top 3 runner at her position. Like she got plenty of money to make in terms of sponsorships and all that in the future. And this guy come right up and get paid right up, boy. Not even a flipping, boy. Not even in the top 8. You come last. So I just want to know what I was watching, right? So I want to get your vantage point because I know what I saw. Why? Before we get to the people, the real people who deserve it, which is, like we say, Elaine Thompson. Why y'all think she came last though?
Slack up.
I watched the
Slack
race.
I think she had a shape. I think honestly,
Exactly. You had a whole month off where you
Yeah.
be training. Other people recovering because they actually gone to the Olympics. You had a whole month off. You should have been training because you already had a chip on your shoulder that, hey.
And she had free time.
You had free time. You had a chip on your shoulder saying, oh, they kept you at the Olympics and you had a chance of getting a medal. This is your dream and all this foolishness. You done blow that one up because you want to go smoke dope before the Olympics. Now this is your chance to show people that I should have been in the race because maybe I could have get a gold or silver or bronze. Now, when you actually meet the guys, you come last. So now that negate all of that before to say, man, maybe we shouldn't have sent you to the Olympics anyhow because you couldn't even make finals, bro.
That's how it looked. But to reply to Timmy, I think that the reason she get the ad ran up for her is because she's the star. I mean, she was the first one. She was the first one to be interviewed. I don't understand why, but she was the first one to be.
We can tell why. We know why.
Yeah.
And I think I think more people tune into that race to see her lose than to see Elaine or Shelly-Ann win. Like this, most people's watching that to see her lose. I'm about to see her.
That's a fact.
Yes,
that's a fact.
Like why
but I
we
mean,
watch that's like why we watch the NBA Finals and LeBron.
Right. So I mean, I think that's why it was about her. But I mean, I hate the fact that it's about her because it takes away from Elaine.
Exactly.
Especially Elaine, because I think Sha'Carri's shine is really taken away from Elaine because Elaine is so close to breaking Floto's record and people not even noticing it. Because
I feel like within the next 12 months, she got that for sure.
And that's crazy.
I feel so. It's crazy how much of a ascent she's had for the last few years, and by watching her, I do get like reminiscent of Usain, what Usain used to do. To be honest, like her dominance to me in those events, it's crazy, buddy. It's crazy. And then they sweep the same event again. They swept it at the Olympics. Mm-hmm. They swept it again, 1, 2, 3.
But ridiculous.
Same order. It's like, boy, like they really got something going over there, but they really got something going over there.
Sorry, baby. Back to G point. I think so I have some track friends who live in like Canada and the States, right? And it was like they've never seen that much people before actually tune into a Diamond League. So I guess for ratings is a good thing that Sha'Carri is. But I mean, if you could be the ratings bringer, at least be good, boy.
But that's the thing. That's
compete.
That's the biggest thing, because the thing about sports, right, was so polarizing, right? As we pull up and watch this cut up right now, right? The thing about sports is the most polarizing figures in sports, the dudes that people love to hate, usually is winners. They're great. Yeah. They're great at what they do. So if they continue to do stuff like this,
yeah. It's like why I don't know some people who hate Melo. Like Melo was winning rings. Like I love Melo. Oh, but why you hating him like he was no sorry Slimmy, but why you hate him? It ain't like Melo was winning rings and MVPs for you to hate him.
That's real talk. That's real talk.
Why you hate Chris Paul? It wasn't like Chris Paul was like
No, Melo never had. But Melo never had the kind of attitude that would warrant haters.
An arrogance.
Yeah, never. So I never understood that for real. Listen, I was a Chris Paul fan. I understand people hate Chris Paul. That dude was a pest, right? But Melo, I never understood where the hate came from.
Right. With him. That's like hating Bradley Beal. No disrespect.
The man but against Supermark. Yeah, and he averaged 30 points. But he ain't do nothing to
why they hate him?
He ain't stop because they hate him in the ring.
Like, but there's no reason I'll hate it.
But I think, like you say, Sant, I think if she continued to lose like this, 2 more losses, and I think that's it.
Yeah, I think 2 more losses, and people could be like, "What? Like the boy who cried, the woman who cried wolf." Like you talk on this. I mean, this guy cursing on live NBC Sports
with no hesitation.
Like I'm just shit. And the meme I show up, please if you can find that meme of Shelly-Ann was like, and Sha'Carri actually made her profile picture on Twitter. But I mean, you know the Caribbean way of pointing them out. Like look at her.
I mean, not to Sha'Carri credit, if she does come back from all of this and possibly wins a gold medal,
I respect the grind. But you gotta win
Right.
first.
I respect it.
Yeah.
I respect
But
it.
the,
You know what I mean?
the
You
trash
look back
talk
on this.
usually, but the trash talk
Right.
usually don't come before you win though. Like that's what I don't
Exactly.
understand.
You gotta have
That's-
one something first.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a different culture for me. And to be honest, that's Black American culture for real. That trash
Yep.
talk. That
Yep.
I am this. I'm Black American, and this event. She just for being in the event alone, she's getting hype, and because she, is a proud Black woman, you know where that narrative is gonna go. So
Yeah, and I think she bi too, so that's something that's playing into.
No, I didn't know that. Jeez.
Yeah,
I
she,
didn't know that.
right before
Hold on.
her first race, she said something about Pride Month or something like that, and like she got a lot of traction on Twitter for that. So I think she's bi as well.
She might not be bad. I think they just have to do that. Like you have to support that type of.
No,
movement
but no,
now.
I can't out of
Even if I want to.
I think she confirmed it when someone tweets something. Oh, I think something about her nails to do with like her girlfriend. Like she said it. I'll look back for it. Like she confirmed it though.
That would explain a
But you
lot.
know why it didn't become bigger? Because really next week came out the weed thing. That's why. So that like.
That would explain a lot though in terms of why the spotlight is on her, given
Yeah.
that she don't have the successful spotlight.
My thing
It's
is,
so disrespectful that she lost, but they asking Elaine and Shelly Ann, but her like, why you asking me? But I just got a goal a couple
Why you
weeks ago.
asking
I just win this race.
I
don't
think it's
care what
disrespectful
Sha'Carri-
for her to even be interviewed. I think that's
with
disrespectful.
them. Yeah, I think
Most ninth places get interviewed.
Why are you interviewing first
Exactly.
place, second place, and third place,
Ninth
and
place.
last?
Who's in?
and then and they ain't ever want to be humble on the interview. That's what really get me upset. Like I was ready to wait.
I mean,
I don't be into that, bro. Like
But
I could deal with trash talking before a game, during a game. Once you don't get your head voice off, don't have nothing to say afterwards.
Not even what she had to say. I didn't see her congratulate nobody. Like how the other American girls went. And
She briefly, she
She
put
did at the
2
end.
seconds in there.
bro, she lost and she went straight to the camera like you don't even say
Like
Like she cut the promo for wrestling.
Yeah, I mean it's like break, and I think she was supposed to run another event, and then she pulled out
Yeah,
that one.
and then go pull out because she know that
Did she
gap is
pull out-
bigger. But that 200 gap is be
Tell you the
different,
shit.
but you know, the 100 gap is be small, but that 200 gap,
200?
we don't play with that.
But
Yeah,
honestly, I thought maybe it was intentional. I thought she was just taking on the villain role, and because the villain still gets the spotlight, whether it be positive or negative.
Well, you know what trainers are Gatlin though, so I think they might say, look, you clearly can't handle this. You might need to pull out.
Yeah,
That's what been training her for the last year. That's who she went, and people have been saying maybe she had to run people around her.
They've been training her to lose to the Jamaicans. That's all he do. The whole career, that's all he do.
Weird. Either way, one thing, whatever you do, it comes second.
Yeah, he could get a silver, or he could get a silver.
but he was never. He was
Like
never.
that meme, the Jamaicans.
But he was never like this though. Like he was more humble with it though.
Yeah, he was more humble because he's racing.
Yeah.
Great.
This girl come as if she knows I'm gonna be out.
And you know what make me laugh? She come out boastful and say, I know what I'm capable of. I'm the 6th fastest woman who've ever run it. I was like, you realize you 6? Like, you ain't even saying, oh, I top 3. I mean, I ain't taking it away. That's an accomplishment. But
I feel
you
like she
saying
was so
that,
high. She had it upside down.
yeah.
Like,
And then on top of that, you realize that the other women who are in the top 5 were the women who just beat you. So don't make it seem like you 6 and the other 5 is like old people like Marion Jones and Flojo. Like Elaine them is some of the guys who in the top 5. So why you even have all this running on like, oh, coming back to beat them all?
I
guess
you
it's
run it
cool.
like that. You ain't gonna be 6. You ain't gonna be 6 much longer if you run it like
Yeah,
that.
you on the downside of the hill.
Oh, I mean, the good thing is what 21, so she got
20,
time.
I think she's 21 yet. I think she just turned 21. I think she's 20.
Yeah,
So I guess she looking at it like that to say, oh,
Yeah.
she running against
Yeah.
one woman them.
Yeah, but
No one
I mean,
really
at the same
cares.
time, yeah,
But see, man, I even feel
Just
better.
like Tomlin said, we do not care.
They do not.
I'll feel better if she was the best American in the race.
yeah,
She was the
at
third
least,
best American in the whole race. So
Or
people
come
who
third or
ran
something. Jeez.
She got busted from her own teammates. So you weren't even the best American run out there.
Shameful.
And then that's a lot of pressure she put on herself. You know, you can imagine next Olympics,
Right.
she don't even qualify. So,
It's a sad situation, you know. I mean, I wanted to bounce back, to be honest.
At some point.
But at some point, but you know, humility is a serious thing.
All this shit talking. She said she making people later. You know the other
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
mm-hmm.
And you can see from our actions, like humility ain't just you talking. Humility is like it's like a mindset, right?
How you move?
Bang, how you move. And like you say, like y'all say, it don't feel like she was training, right? It feel like she was out of shape. So that's not humility. That's not being humble. You know what I mean? It's not being humble. You burn against the best of the best. You better be in the best shape of your life, or else you get your head so off. So,
And I respect the Jamaicans for not even speaking on it though. Like, because you know the media's gonna try and get them to try and bait them into speaking on it. They're like, nah, I don't.
yeah, man, take the high road.
I wasn't watching Charlie. What Charlie answered? I wasn't watching Sha'Carri.
I could watch her from behind.
Yeah, someone's like,
What you wanna do?
I don't have eyes behind my head. Like,
They don't even speak on it. I respect that 100%. Don't even give that no energy. Like that. I saw a meme that compared her to Lance Stevenson. Y'all saw that?
yeah, like when Wade was like,
Right, like when he was trying to beat the Heat with LeBron.
they was like down by 15, but he had like a crossover down. It was like,
He is joking. That's serious. Hey, he is funny as hell. That's serious, man.
Difference is, I don't think he thought he was better than them. He was just enjoying, you know, any sort of success against the
different
Heat.
sports. You can see different things. Yeah.
so speaking about Lance, you see, he hosted like a workout last week. I think someone hired him. He's only 30, you know. Like he ain't said
Lance only 30.
Yeah, boy.
Downside of the hill.
No, but I think he could. I think given
So
he has an
I see-
ability to score, but he has a unique ability to just.
And he actually, even if he isn't a great defender, he competes on defense. You know, there's a difference between like people use a row or Harden but not trying. So Lance tries.
He's a competitor. He's a competitor on that end.
And he's from Brooklyn. He's from Brooklyn. You know, they worked him out. So who knows?
What that mean?
I know.
They might sign him.
I
He ride on that benchy.
Well, you know, they can't at this point. We don't know if they can stay healthy for a full season.
See,
I didn't get out
they
of
may,
Brooklyn.
but they may take a page out of Lakers. But I think the Lakers got Russell Westbrook to give Anthony Davis and LeBron a rest because Russell could run the entire team.
They said it that one thing with Russ, once he cut on, he don't cut off.
Right.
That way
he
you
can
could
run that whole
save
season.
AD, you could save LeBron. So
Right.
people on sound, we will be seeing a lot of lineups with just Russ and like Monk and like the younger guys. Like
Yeah, you could put anything around him. That's
LeBron
what I
played
can say
the
with
least
him.
amount of minutes ever last year and about to drop again.
Drop, yeah. Especially AD. So I mean, if they doing it, maybe Brooklyn's going to do the same thing by trying to
Yeah,
pick up
because
pieces.
I'm kind of afraid for KD. I mean, he's holding up pretty well, but between that semifinals and the Olympics thing, you need to like just chill.
His
Bro.
man's
Yeah.
his rest is going to drop.
I think you can take a back
That's
seat
correct. Like,
I think he should.
to Harden
Even he may not want to,
until
but he should.
playoffs.
Yeah.
You should.
yeah.
Yeah, Harden can.
My thing is, right,
I remember Harden has never really missed time before now.
Yeah,
You
he
know,
don't.
between
He's-
the
you have a fun
soft
very good.
injuries, like
He's usually
the soft
Iron Man.
injuries.
But I was looking
The
at
thing is,
things
right-
the other day, and I see a lot of storylines with these two big three. Because I look at it, I was like, Russ, KD, you know the stuff with that. Then you got Kyrie, you got LeBron. I was like, okay. Then I was like, but like you got all these things that past stuff, like because you got other people who was other people teammates going against each other now. So it's like, but if them two meet in the finals, this could be the most watched finals in a good much years because
And
there's
you
so
know,
much
they play
storylines
Christmas.
leading up to that.
They play in Christmas.
Oh,
Oh, speaking
Georgia,
of Christmas, Clay is coming back Christmas Day.
It's not going to come back Christmas.
Clay.
I can't wait to see Clay back, boy. I can't wait to see Clay back, boy.
And
Yeah, so they can finally have
I'm
enough pieces to
scared
trade Draymond.
'cause he had ACL on one leg and Achilles on the next. So he is like both legs had serious injuries.
Well, the good thing is he's a
I
jump
think-
shooter. Like he's a
Yeah, he don't really miss his legs.
Right.
Yeah. Only hurt in defense.
with the way that KD came back from the Achilles, and with the way I think John Wall even came back a little decent. The Rockets is just suck.
Yeah, he look good.
But
You look what?
I think it's hope for Clay.
John Wall is good. He look
I think
healthy. He
KD
look healthy.
He look decent.
Yeah,
I
he look
think
healthy.
KD is the blueprint. KD took 18 months off, so usually I think we need to move away from this 12 months and actually make it 18. Now Clay is only going to be 13 months at Christmas, but because of the bubble and COVID, like KD got 18 months off, so I think they start looking at like, yeah, you might lose some games, but take that time to really come back, because Clay even said he don't think he's going to be able to look like Clay until March or April.
Oh yeah, but when he
I
get that
feel
in full
so
swing,
too. I feel so too. But I think once he gets full swing, I think he could really. I can't wait to see him back on the court, but because Clay is one of my favorite players to watch, and he you know, beyond the behemoth stuff, he just really is a good competitor, boy. So
yeah, and he's smooth with it.
What are we talking about though? You say when he comes back, you think it's going to be in full spin. What are we talking about? We talking about conference finals? We talking about semis?
Oh, like, oh yeah.
I wouldn't go that
Oh,
far.
yeah.
I think the Warriors need a few more pieces.
So what? First round?
I think they could second round. Second round.
It depends on matchup. It all depends on how the ladder.
If things
shakes
break
out.
great,
I mean, in
if
the
things
West.
break great, maybe conference finals. If things break great. But I would
And what
put
we
them
have to remember
behind.
too, they're not in the
They do.
easiest division anymore. When Clay them and Steph them in 2015, don't forget, the Clippers was going through their saga. The Lakers was trash. The Suns always been trash. And Sacramento, infinite trash. So back then when Golden State was running the division, you had easy opponents
Clippers,
year
Grizzlies,
round. No, we're talking about the
Spurs,
division.
Oh, the division.
And the conference, the division.
Okay.
So now when Clay is coming back and this new
Suns up there.
Golden State thing, they in the hardest division now.
Yeah.
You got 4 out of 5 teams that make the Western Conference in the West that makes
Yeah.
the playoffs. You got the Lakers, the Clippers,
And
the Suns just come from the finals, and now you coming back off. It ain't gonna be the same blowing through the West like how you've been blowing through the West the past 5 years before Clay injury. So depending on that, you got to see what's going on. And then Draymond obviously want to have an interview talking about the coach and the GM and say, oh, y'all messed it up. And I was like, don't mind KD, you know. KD on another team getting us
know why.
You still young.
Honestly, I think
I don't know why.
I think that's it for him. I think he.
I say,
I
play this
don't know
way.
if y'all recall when Iguodala did something similar like that. And he spoke and he said he feels so Mark Jackson was blackballed by the Warriors.
Yes. I remember that.
And what happened a few months
That was
later?
it. That was it.
They trade him quick.
I mean, yeah, they bring him back, dude. They bring him back. That's interesting.
Yeah, no.
With Draymond, I feel like
What?
when he said that, I was like, but this boy really don't care anymore at all, for real.
You ain't got no
It's like-
sense.
No.
And I don't understand why he continues to relitigate that situation with KD, but like, KD done gone. It didn't happen. Like, he ain't coming back.
But
He's
hold
one
on,
of those guys who play tough, but they are very emotional.
But let's
So if you
let's
heard him talk, he's like, oh, for my mindset or for me to sleep at night, let
Yeah,
me know.
he
It's
said-
like, bro, you really ain't get over this yet. Like real
He
fellas,
said-
if you can tell somebody what they sell, like take it from me. I was a professional trash talker. If I talk to you bad on the court, I go home and sleep like a baby, bro. Because if you was my boy, you realize that's me. If you
listen
ain't,
before we hop in the car.
Then it's whatever.
That dead.
exactly.
Yeah, so my whole thing is this. Why was that such a big deal to the point where 2 years later, y'all still feel the need to talk about that? When it first came out,
Because
Because it's suspected to be the reason, or the
Exactly.
main reason why KD left, and that's a
And
big
he
thing.
also
Right?
said, that, oh, KD, ever since you left, I've been getting my butt kicked. So now it's almost like you caused KD leave. And ever since KD leave, we've been getting terrorized because everybody been punching our head off. Who had we been punching on? So if it wasn't
That's
for you
enough.
building this riffraff between you and KD or messing it up, even though you're blaming Steve Kerr and other people, you probably would have had a big dynasty going on.
So they've been down for like what 3 years now, 3 years in a row.
I would say 2
years.
The year after Kawhi
After
won
Ki-
with Toronto.
Yeah.
Kawhi then
yeah.
took us 2 years. That's just 2 years.
Yeah, 2 years.
Seemed
They had
like a
the
long
injuries
time.
with Steph
Me
and
too.
Clay. And then they had last year.
Draymond was still there.
Draymond was still
happened?
there. That's when,
5-5, boy. I can't carry no team.
right.
But I was so, but that interview was so frustrating to me listen to them talk, especially Draymond, because it was like, bro, you ain't trying to take no accountability for what happened. Like, how you like Kerr and Myers, seriously, not had nothing to do with you.
That and the thing is,
Yeah,
right,
exactly.
it's like, but y'all is too grown, man. But like anybody who ever played sports before know that kind of stuff happens like almost all the time. Like you always get into it with a teammate.
Always.
Like, that always happens. Like if you go the entire season and don't address that, then that on you.
And
You
that
go the
most
entire
likely
season,
ain't the
you address that.
championship team. If that don't happen, that's most likely not a championship team, to be honest.
Exactly.
That happens, bro. I can imagine how much times Kobe and Shaq are not good. How much times
Jordan is doing it to everybody.
Jesus, if it even go to that.
I mean, I don't know how LeBron is running his locker room. He might have a different.
Man, you know, because you've seen the way he carry on with Trey and
Yeah, very woman. Very woman.
So for Draymond to not take zero accountability, that was surprising.
With it. But my whole thing is this.
But he is someone who always prides himself on keeping it real. So I expected to have some kind of apology, at least some kind of accountability to say, yeah, I was hot-headed that game, or dude, he didn't say nothing.
All he had to do was say, right? Because I remember that game, because I went back and watched it, because I was like, this really was a big issue, or they just was overblowing it. And I remember the game when Katie, I think Katie waved him off or something, or something like that. That's a big disrespect for True.
Okay, so to recap, Trey had the ball. He was coming down.
Katie came up for the ISO.
Katie
clapped for him.
Had it on his hand. Yeah, he's clapping his hand because he wanted that. That's Katie moment, right?
Yeah.
But Dre is used to playing
waiting for
where
Steph.
he dribble up, and what Dre was to do, because exactly, he used to dribble up straight up the court, and then he's gonna hand it off to Katie, right? So Katie could get the trail three, right? But Katie didn't want the trail three. Katie wanted
I don't want
a rhythm wide.
Yep. I want to do my own
thing. He wanted a rhythm wide. So because of that, that's caused confusion. And then Dre was like, wait, this is what I usually is do, right? So you getting mad at me, this what I usually is do. And Katie's like, dog, I didn't want you to do that. I wanted it in the back court. You know what I mean?
I think it was kind of disingenuous of Katie not to say the full story in the interview. He has said before that he did not like the motion offense and he wanted more ISO. I wish he had owned up and manned up an interview to be like, I ain't gonna lie, we was hard to beat, but I didn't really like your passy offense. I wanted the ISO. I wish he'd say that. I wish he'd say, because it was said before. He said it before during that season. After that blow up, he was like, wait. He said it in a intellectual way. It wasn't really a this, but it was a this. He's like, I'm more comfortable in the ISO, but Kerr likes to run like this motion offense. I wish he'd own up and say, yeah, man, I hated your passing offense. I was KD to me ISO.
Yeah, we've seen it a few times. I've seen it a few times where Trey was rowing KD because he tried to take someone one-on-one versus going in motion, and KD was like, yeah, all right, my bad. So I've seen that a few times. So the miscommunication was happening throughout the entire
the 3 years.
So I don't get why that particular one, like you said, because
well, you know why. You know why, Gralyn. Because he said, we don't need you. We run ring without you.
Yeah.
No, that's what I'm saying. I don't get why that lost Dre. I don't know why Dre.
Oh, they was losing. I think because they was losing. And
I think the game was close and KD wanted to.
Yeah.
They lost again. They lost.
Yeah, after that, they lost. Yeah.
I think they lost the game after that.
Yeah, they lost.
But so, to me, that part is an organizational failure because you give a role player too much power to say all that.
That's the problem.
If Steph said that to KD, no problem.
Fine.
Yeah. Fine. You let a role player say it to Kevin Durant, boy?
But
He
the
ain't
thing
first
is,
whole
option.
player.
He ain't second option. He ain't even
But he's
third
not-
option.
skill wise, he is, but you gotta understand, Dre is the
He's
voice
the
of that
captain.
team.
He's the voice,
He's
the
the
soul,
captain.
the heart, the captain.
He's the one. He's the one who makes noise on defense when you miss a defensive assignment.
forget.
I've seen him round
We
Clay
forget.
before.
I
When
understand
Dre
that.
didn't start the season last year, everyone saying was Steph was done. Steph was done. The moment Draymond put on a Warriors jersey last year is when Curry looked better. We give Curry is great, GOAT, greatest of all time. But without Draymond, he looks shaky in the light. Just like
He didn't
how
look shaky to
if,
start the season.
and that's when
I admit that.
Draymond wasn't playing. The moment
looked shaky to
Draymond
start.
started playing, it was over.
And I feel like
Let me show you.
you start playing, it can even go like exponentially increases.
But let me show you.
Because
Let me show you the
you
value.
can't
of
you
Draymond.
can't triple team Steph if Clay in the court.
Right.
Yeah, you can't
See,
triple team him. Like
The one thing
that's
I
what they was
agree
doing.
with, Draymond does take a lot of ball handling work away from Steph. So it allows Steph to run around and get open rather than
Yeah.
having to be a point guard.
And
And
create
actually,
a
that's
shot.
why I always tell fellas, don't run on with that Steph is the best point guard and all. You have to look at what the label point guard. Steph is the best shooter.
Right.
But when it comes to being a point guard, like you say, you give him the ball and you have to bring it up every time and run plays and stuff like that. He looks shaky.
It's easy to blitz him. It's easy to double team him and
Exactly.
trap him.
He looks
Yeah.
very shaky. But when you got Draymond bringing it up, and then you running around, and then he just throwed you in the corner or he handed off to you, that's splash.
Like I watched
like,
a
you
video
got-
where Draymond was like, I never seen like 5 dribble on offs in one possession before. Like he was like dribble on off, that ain't work. Dribble on off, like time here to
Yeah,
land.
that's
Is he,
the thing. If
Rim right.
like what Golden State had last year is exactly what y'all saying. Like if Steph bring up the ball, like defense is so sound and so advanced in today's NBA, they ain't letting one player beat them like that. You know what I mean? So if you come up court and they know you're the only offensive option, they tripling you. They selling doubles. You know what I mean? They
quick triple, quick blitz, game over. And that's why Steph
Yeah.
got so bad when the season started. But the moment Draymond comes, Draymond say, no, I got this. I got triple the
Yeah.
ball.
And then, like, crazy. Now, when you add Clay, now defenses know I can't sell my whole offense on one dude no more. I have to
And
pay.
you know-
I have
you
to
know-
at least pay attention to Clay.
You know, set foot Clay is a layup.
Yeah,
Set
thing.
foot Clay. Clay set
And
foot
that
set.
dude, bro,
That's a layup.
that
And you shoot
dude is
people on him.
right. So it's so
should be corner.
tough, right? Because you got on one end you got Dre with the ball, you got Steph running around every single player like a playground, and everybody
And now you
trying to
got-
keep
you
their
got
eyes on him. And then you got
Wiseman
Clay,
and Looney drop off with these big shoulder screens.
and you got Clay
Yeah.
setting
Be
screens
running
and
back
sneaking
door.
around. Like that's
At least no he roll.
when them doing
Yeah.
look,
You
but
know,
most
you know, hero on
that
it.
2015 team was so spectacular. That was the 7-3-9. Yeah, that was so
I'm really
spectacular.
curious to see
Everyone
that
do.
Wiseman isn't a pick and roll big, but for the Warriors, it needs to be. But Wiseman is a mid post, give me the ball. I got like Marc Gasol type of big, but like when he was in college. So I'm very curious to see how they use him because he won't ever. I think see his full potential on the Warriors
I don't like the Wiseman fit on the Warriors.
at all.
I don't like the Wiseman fit because they need him to be more like a McGee. And
That's not his game.
Yeah, he really ain't really used to playing like that. So
The thing is,
I don't really
I
like
actually-
that fit.
So selfishly, I want him to trade him and the picks that became Kuminga and Moody for Siakam because I've been told they drafted Kai. And Kai right now for the next 2 to 3 years is a player who's gonna run up and down, catch lobs, set screens, and dunks. That's not what Wiseman is. Wiseman was that high for a reason. Wiseman is more give me the ball, I go take my man, or give me the ball like a hand off, fake hand off, shoot, step back, like. But that ain't what he can be right now with Wiggy, because Wiggins will couple of shots. Like so, right now Wiseman is 5th option.
Yeah.
Well, and
So-
Marshall they actually got Mills, so who knows?
They was trying to get party.
Yeah, it was actually
Yeah, he's trying to
between
party.
he had two offers on the table. I feel like KD kind of sealed the deal at the Olympics. I feel like KD going to say, "Play, you better accept our offer, mate."
My God, if Party went to Golden State, jeez.
But I actually thought they get Dennis, but Dennis went to Boston instead.
Yeah, I thought Dennis would have been a good pickup a lot of teams. After he pulled that foolishness, I thought he'd have been a good pickup for a lot of teams, but
No,
The,
bro.
the, the NBA Avalanche is so crazy because if Dennis signs his contract, that means the Lakers never
No
ask
Westbrook.
for Westbrook, which means they get Buddy and they keep KCP. So then you have Dennis and they probably keep Caruso. So you have Dennis, Caruso, Buddy, KCP, LeBron, AD. So it's like you basically have
that's still a
Westbrook,
nice team.
Yeah.
Dennis, Buddy, KCP, Caruso.
That's still a nice team.
See, my thing is, I feel like even with Schroeder, if he had even if he had signed that extension, I feel they still would have traded him. Because now that's
Eventually.
just 20 mil you could now put in a package to still get
Yeah,
Russ.
I don't think they would have done it right. Remember, keep in mind, this is no one in the NBA. You know, Rob used to be Buddy's agent.
Yeah, yeah.
So Rob been trying to get Buddy for a little while. So he wasn't gonna. Buddy was
probably
supposed to
will.
be- Buddy was the number one target. But LeBron come through and be like, wait, this nigga from LA, this is an MVP. Like how Thor said, bring me Thanos. LeBron basically say, bring me Russ, bring me Russ. You know.
Yeah, but you know LeBron though. He don't care about fit.
Yeah, that could find a man,
Yeah.
boy.
Yes, yeah, me.
No, but he
Yeah, me.
usually
The
a good,
dudes what I say want.
usually a good GM though. LeBron.
I don't think that was a good GM move
I don't.
because of Russ.
I think that was one of his worst
salary.
moves.
Yeah,
No,
because of the
he's-
salary.
I think that was one of his worst moves.
Yeah, I think Russ could
I
be,
mean, for 2 years, I don't care. Like for 2 years,
45.
No, you can't say for two. Oh, you mean the salary? I mean LeBron's
Yeah,
45.
timeline.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie.
No.
That's a rough. That's a rough
referee got
salary.
rough.
because like this is
But,
the game you play when you have stars. So people ask me if I feel comfortable maxing out Jimmy. When you sign a max player,
Oh, no,
you gotta
Jimmy nice.
know you gotta max him out. Like, do I want to play Jimmy 50 mil at age 35? Probably
No.
not. But it's the name
But
of the game.
that's the only way you
Sometimes you
get
gotta do certain things to keep
He
your
earned
max
that,
player
though.
happy.
That's the only way you
Yeah.
get them. You know what I mean? If that's what the market say you worth, that's what you can get paid.
Yeah.
The reason why I don't really like the Russ move too much, I like it because I believe it will add a season to LeBron's career, right? Because
Oh, boy.
Russ is gonna take the load off him the entire regular season. So
Yep.
that's why. But in the playoffs, Russ really been snotty in the playoffs.
Russ don't do the
3, 4,
things
5 years.
off the ball that Wade did. Wade was a master cutter. Wade don't ever sit in the corner. Wade get cut. Now, if Russ becomes what Wade did in 2012 and 2013, you ain't beating this team. Point blank. You're not
No.
beating the Lakers if Russ is able to do what Wade did in 2012,
If he can
2013.
affect it off the board.
But
What?
Russ
For
is
the last couple
Russ is
years,
demonstrating
like-
that he can. He said in his press conference, there's more things to do without the ball, man. Yeah, you are right, there's more things, but you haven't done it. You,
Yeah,
Mr.
never.
Westbrook, haven't done it.
And he had a perfect
Yeah.
chance to do it when he was with the Rockets with Harden,
Exactly.
and they couldn't figure it out. That was the
And they
perfect
traded
And that ended
Capella,
up
they
just
can-
like how we
it's
thought it
out.
ended up.
Yeah.
That ended up just like how we thought it's gonna. They had to trade away their own center
Stand up
because
to open up the floor. for
they
him.
couldn't have
He
enough
can't shoot.
spacing with Russ on the floor.
Like my thing is right. Russ has the worst 3-point percentage ever for someone who has attempted as much as him. Like, just don't shoot the three. Like that's my only qualm with Russ. I don't mind the mid range because you keep the pressure on the offense when you do the little super things where you run hard and just fade. Like I don't mind that. You keeping the pressure on them, but the tree, nobody.
I think he
No.
takes the tree because guys start to sit back on him. Like guys starting to drop back on him like how they did Rondo. So my thing is, it's almost like, like it's a mental thing. Because, you have that chip on his shoulder. He believes that, I have to prove to you that I hit it this trick.
I'm pussy.
Yeah. You can let me shoot this?
Yeah.
So it's like,
Yeah. And that's
people know he can blow past people.
In his
He'll
career,
blow
he's
past.
hit
and that's
some
the blessing
game-winning-
and the curse.
Game winning threes, yeah.
He's hit some
Like
game-winning threes in his career. too,
the first triple double season, he hit a game winning three.
for 50, I think.
That was a rock.
50 points.
but that was a big game. I
That was
remember
a big rock.
Yeah.
I remember that. He just threw that in the air.
Speaking about Rondo, the Grizzlies have 18 guaranteed contracts, so they have to get rid of 3. Who do you think Rondo going to after the buyout? I don't think he goes back to any of the LO games.
You gotta come home, bro.
Which one?
Why you keep
Boston?
saying that? What is home?
No.
Boston?
No, you know where he's
Lakers,
happy.
man.
He wasn't happy in Boston.
What are you talking
He's
about?
happy with the Lakers.
He's talking about Lakers, but Boston could use secondary point guard. True.
No,
Smart.
Boston could use
Rondo
a
have
big.
too much
They got too much
animosity with too
wing.
much point guard.
They just paid Robert Williams $54 million. They don't sign the
Why?
potential.
Wait, listen.
No,
Rondo
he
gotta
has
go to
potential.
LA.
I wouldn't
He
pay
wild.
54.
He wild with Russ. He gotta go to Boston because he don't like shoulder. Rondo just don't like too much point guards, but that's his biggest issue. I don't know why he have so much animosity. It's so much different.
What
guys.
if he goes
that's-
to back up Chris
he hate Chris
Paul?
Paul.
It's not. It's
Oh, no, never. Never. That's never happened.
He hate Chris Paul.
Retire before you go there.
I never got
Retire before-
He'll probably go to Miami and sit behind Larry.
So, I see some people. That's one of the rumors. We would have to probably dump KZ or Paul and somebody. I don't really. I mean, I think actually it's gonna happen though. I think the Heat has given Gabe Vincent he using his African name Namdi. They gave him the chance for the first 2 months to be back up. But I think by Christmas, if he doesn't work out, they're gonna call Rondo.
Yeah, I must see, because y'all lose y'all good backup point guard to a better team.
The drag.
But it is what
I mean,
it is.
we let him go.
So there,
We pulled the qualifying offer. Trust me, I love none on offense, but none don't move on defense. None is if you drive past him, he just is like
defense.
man go.
None
You
was-
think we
none
come
was-
here to play any
Your team-
defense?
Your team is here,
He signed Melo,
Timmy.
Yeah, Larry was a perfect fit, and he's also the godfather of Jimmy's child. So it's like, niggas want like man together. I heard, as a godfather of your child.
At some point, did you feel as though Larry would have convinced DeRozan to come to South
Yeah,
Beach?
I know they wanted to play together, but so when I knew that the deal was dead, when the Heat picked up Iguodala's contract, basically both Iggy and the Spurs they fucked the Heat. The Heat had $16 million in Iggy, and they were going to use it to sign and trade for DeRozan, and the Spurs was like, I don't want Iggy for $16 million. And Iggy was like, if I go to San Antonio, I could do what I did in Memphis. Where he waited for them 7 months. So basically, the Spurs and and Iggy was like, F you. So he just let him go. So that's why I knew the DeRozan deal was dead. If you had seen the Heat pick up the $16 million, that means DeRozan was coming. Because the plan would have been, we send his $15 million to the Spurs, and the Spurs would buy him out. The Spurs was like, we ain't buying him out. Because like even now, Thaddeus Young, who they did get, they're trying to trade him to the Suns. So it was close, but the Spurs, it was really Iggy. And we saw he wants to go back to Curry. Iggy always wanted to go back to the Warriors, but the Spurs is like, we ain't that type of team. We don't buy out niggas. Like that's not what we do. We don't buy out. The Spurs basically screwed us.
That would have been nice. So I really wanted to see them two play together again.
Yeah, the Spurs basically was like,
nice in Miami.
Yeah. So Depot did the last year and a half with this quad still torn. His quad was still torn. So they say he might come back in February. He about to be like fourth option.
February?
So he'll be.
What type of quad thing this is?
When his contract expires?
He peeled this off the bone.
We give him a minimum.
1 year minimum. Okay.
Yeah. So what happened was the first quarter he's playing through it, and he was complaining that one of his legs is bigger than the other. Fine, that's normal after post surgery, right? After his fourth game with us, and he did the dunk. He was trying to rehab it. The doctor said he went in. The quad was never reattached. So he literally played the last year and a half with his quad hanging. So if he's able to do that with his leg basically unattached, I'm kind of optimistic that as our fourth option and our third ball handler, that he actually could be a really good six-man for us, him and Hero. So I'm not expecting much. I'm not expecting all-star Oladipo. I just want him to be able to, someone who could, because right now, we only have 3 ball handlers. At 4, we can bomb.
But he doesn't have the personality to take the back seat, though, to be a 4.
Well, he basically on a prove-it deal. No one. But we spoke so badly about Dennis turning down money. The Pacers offered him 5 years, 100. He said no.
Yeah.
Went to Houston. Houston offered him 2 years, 45. He said no because he wants to come to Miami. He has a house in Miami. He's wanting to come here. He get to Miami 4 games, heard the squad again. So literally nobody offered him a dime. He had no
Right.
offers. They gave him $2 million.
That nigga finished.
So-
quick.
Right now, his
I
best
think he
case is
finished.
his best case is he come off the bench and he end up starting the playoffs and he take us to the conference finals. That will get him paid.
I think he
That
made
nigga-
6 man.
Yeah. And
But that's what I'm
Right.
saying. He doesn't have the 6-man mentality, though. So, I mean, maybe for a
After
year
one
until
injury.
he feels like so we deserve more, and then
Yeah, well,
it's going to be a
listen.
problem. In the locker room.
In a contract year, you gotta do what you gotta do. Yeah, especially for a guard, explosive guy.
Yeah. And he relies a lot on explosion. Like, I think he could get back to a playable level, but it could be hard because I don't think he can ever get back to that all-star level. he
2-time
once was.
All-Star, all defense, dunker,
But if he-
competitor.
If he ball out this year, he loves some team. He ain't get no big
Even
team
like
to
a
sign him,
like,
but he
like,
could
a,
get
like
a-
a 1 year, like a 1 year, 15 million something.
Right.
Yeah, he could get a trash
I
team
remind-
to sign him. You know the teams
I
are
remind you all,
and
but-
stuff.
And in addition to the next ain't trash, if you try to mention that. I remind you, Achilles, even in addition to Achilles injury, the Marcus Cousins suffered. He also suffered a quad injury as well. That he wasn't able to recover from.
That old walking glass
So
bottle.
that quad injury, that
Even Kawhi,
I don't
remember Kawhi last year was the first year Kawhi didn't rest for 3 years. Last year was Kawhi's first non-load management year. Like Tony was never really right after the quad. So we've never really heard of quad injuries until Tony and Kawhi. So I saw a lot of doctors talking about the new pick and rolls have been like, there's never been such pick and rolls ever. So do you think it's because of the pick and roll and the speed of the game and the threes why this injuries happening? Because before 2017, no one was tearing their quad. Like this is a
I
new
definitely
thing.
think it's the speed. I think the speed
Yeah,
is
it's the
one of
speed.
the main reasons why so much injuries happen on the whole. Because the injuries in itself, not just quad, just the rate of injuries in the NBA is exponentially higher than what it used to be.
Yeah, guys
I
playing
think
at a
this is
different level, bro. Like ever since I think who really started it, I think was more like Derrick Rose. Rose
yeah.
had more of that explosion. He is like, but he changed the pace of every game. But
And
look at him.
I think it's
It
the
cost him in the end.
I think
the side.
the NBA has been more recently the side. Like you say, from 2010, 2011,
Like you
it's
ever
usually
see,
just
like,
used to go to the rim or you'd pass
Yeah.
ball. And now they just
but
do
you
it
ever
little-
see like when they slow mo these guys, and then you see how much their ankles and stuff is bent in
And the-
these shoes, and how their
and-
knees is actually be curved, and I just be like, bro,
Mhm.
that's a serious
I-
force
I
these
think-
guys putting on their
I
body.
think that's why the whole athletic point guard era didn't last too long. John Wall,
Yeah.
Westbrook,
Yeah.
those.
And I scared for Ja because Ja acting like
I'm
weird.
very
Ja
scared
don't
for
care
Ja.
how he fall.
He's so reckless, but
But
You see what happened when he
the
had
thing
that
with it-
run ankle turn.
what athletic point guards really do last long? No athletic point guards really last long.
Only Russ
The one that
and-
lasts
and-
the longest is Russ.
And Russ had
yeah,
like
Russ
would have a surgery every season. Loki. Russ would
Yeah.
have his knee
But you know
surgery
what,
every
Since
summer.
Beverly, since Dirty Beverly and Jim.
Yeah, he been having a knee surgery every summer.
You go
But
back to
I
Steve
thought
Francis,
that was going to be
Aaron Davis.
yeah, even
you know what I mean? These
But
dudes had
that-
multiple injuries.
that era was popping up though with Rose when it was Rose and Wall, and I was like, okay, we see where it's going, and then it just dwindled from there.
No, I feel bad for Rubio. He get banished. He make the finals finally. He make the playoffs finally with the Jazz. Then he gets sent to the Wolves. Then he gets sent to the Cavs to go back up Garland and Sexton.
Sexton, but yeah, I can't
At least he,
Yeah,
at least he expiring.
Rubio has been, I would say, a disappointment because Rubio was
Had Luka hype, had
projected
Luka
to
hype.
be what
He had Luka hype.
Luka is now.
Yeah, Luka hype. Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
like you never came in the league and reached that level or had that hype, even though
But I
Luka
don't-
did
You
it.
see how crazy it was that the Wolves changed the NBA? The Wolves they draft Ricky and
Johnny
Flynn.
Flynn.
Imagine they draft Curry.
Two trash point guards before
Or,
Curry.
or if they didn't draft Flynn and Curry fell to the Warriors. Or if the Suns actually traded Nash and Amari for Curry. Like,
Oh no, that wasn't happening.
Or
But that
Curry
was-
was
that was-
next, like he
they were
on the table,
supposed to
boy.
trade Curry
Jordan.
and for
That
Nash.
was rough.
Okay, but let's go back to Rubio though. Do y'all see how he plays in international play?
Yep.
Like
But he had 40
he
against Team
is
USA, boy.
he is Luka-esque. So I don't understand the difference. I don't
Yeah,
understand when
European.
he against the
Oh.
USA team.
So I'm gonna send this podcast. You remember Norris Cole?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Barely.
Norris Cole as a podcast now with the Miami Heat Network. He has won 5 championships in Europe since he left the Heat. So he actually has 7 rings now.
Yeah. He's
And
started my head.
he really broke down the difference between the NBA and Europe. So in Europe, dudes are much more skilled. They're less athletic, but they're much more skilled. So they actually know the fundamentals and they don't miss open shots. Like if they literally
Oh, hey,
open,
listen.
that's
Don't
cash
make open
money.
shots, really.
So the pace is much slower. We don't knocking the ball off the rim. That saves a lot of points.
Yep.
You're more physical on defense. So because the game is slow, you could play more tougher defense. And you're better equipped, and you don't rely on the whistle. So because they know the international game, Ricky know how to. He ain't gonna flail like when he go up. He know he either getting that foul or he going through you and getting his layup. And because the pace is slow, it's not rushed. Because people don't understand the pace the NBA is going at is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And it's tiresome. I think we don't understand. They get tired. Whereas in Europe, they could pace themselves, slow down the pace. But yeah, this is really it's a skill thing. Like they might not be athletic, but dudes don't miss. If they open, that's cash.
But great.
I
You're fine, right?
I remember when
That's my
Rubio got
important.
drafted.
This is weird. Right? Because especially if you just saw what Rubio did to Team USA, and I know if y'all watch France play, 28 was dropping 30 a night too. I believe like when these dudes play for their countries, the rules are defined, bro. So it's like
Yeah.
we know when Rubio go to Spain, they treating Rubio like he's
like Messi.
he's Stephen Curry. You see what I said? They say, all right, bro, you're the one who's scoring our board. So everything running through you. And the same way with France with 48, they looking at 48, okay, but use our Kevin Durant. You know what I mean? Use the one who's scoring our points. So when the rules define, it's easy to just be yourself and play free and do whatever because you don't watch nothing if you miss a shot. Whereas if you come to the NBA and use Rubio, so Parsons, how he's able to stay on the floor early in his career. So now,
He missed 3
if
shots.
you miss a wide open, you miss 3 shots, niggas like, hold on, why you shooting? You ain't supposed to be shooting, you supposed to be passing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
so
shoot my boy.
everything is like, it's really like, I think in the NBA, in the NBA, when you coming up, knowing your rules is so key for survival because everybody who comes from college or international or whatever the case may be, it was the star and their previous level. So now when you come inside the big leagues,
Except Draymond.
super talented,
It was a star.
right? Unless you're super talented, unless you was Luka. Draymond was a star at Michigan State, right?
That's what I
So unless, when you come
Yes,
to the
he
league,
was.
He used to start at Michigan State.
he was
not
a
the star.
star.
He was there with what's your boy name? He wasn't there with
I'm playing in what the next guy named that?
the next
Anyway,
play was
he
the
was
star.
there with
But anyway, yeah, go on.
Valentine, Caleb Lucas.
All that was better than that.
He's
All
never
that was better.
Chance, what you're saying is illustrated when you look at these players and like let's say for instance, and I will never forget this, Danny Granger and Paul George. Paul George was backing up Danny Granger. Danny Granger was the star. The minute Danny Granger went out and Paul George came in, it was like
Who was that guy?
Totally in our franchise player. Danny Granger couldn't even get a spot back. So
But PG still was, remember, and if you don't forget, PG left the Pacers because they traded Johnny Green. When they asked him why he wanted to trade, he said, well, Johnny Granger was my mentor, and they traded him as soon as he got hurt. Like, that was a big factor in him leaving the Pacers.
Yep.
yeah, but my point is he when Granger was playing, when Granger was healthy, when Granger was a star, when PG came on the court to back him up, he was in all-star caliber. He wasn't even 6'1". But now that he knew, okay, bro, use the man now, go get buckets, like that just flipped. So we got to remember these NBA players, they all
He's NBA
stars.
players for a reason.
They just
Nah.
playing roles.
Not all of them. Hold on. Not all of them have the talent to be a star, but all of them have the ability to just go there and just hoop. And like the first few years for them, it's all about survival. Like, how do I get on the court? Like Kawhi, when he first got to San Antonio, Kawhi know the only way he could get on the court was to play defense.
Defense, yeah. That's a
If he can't play, so if he could defense, he couldn't get on the court. Then gradually start the offensive game and start showing people he could do something different. And then it's like, okay, well, you could do something different. Let's trust you with the ball in your hands a little bit more. But I think a lot of people mess up.
And then when he started giving LeBron fits, that was it.
But here's the question: does that help them or hurt them? Because if you look at a player like Colin Sexton, who never had a role to play, it was always you putting the ball in your hand, go to work at, which he really don't deserve it, to be honest. But do you think he's a star? He's dropped 40 points sometimes.
Dog in Cleveland.
So, but my point is, so okay, when because they are eventually going to trade him, he can't say that forever. When they trade him, he's not gonna have the free reign that he has now. So, is he gonna be able to play a role? Because he's never really played. He's always the stars that he can in the league.
But that also depends on the player.
Why I think,
like I tell fellas, like
it depends on the player.
Don't get it twisted. Like don't let fellas lie and say, oh, it's all about a championship. You got some fellas who go to the NBA who tell you, Cole, bro, it's for this money. Like I don't want to go to no championship team. I don't want to make no one else better. I want to go on the worst team in the league because I know if I go on the worst team in the league and ball out, I get me a supermax. When I go on a championship team, y'all come sit me down to this round table like LeBron them and say, oh, well, did you take a pay cut and maybe we need to bring in some other people? I don't want to hear that. So not everybody, if you do end up winning a championship, that's great. But not everybody comes to the league with the same mentality that, oh, I come here to be the best of all time. Some fellas just happy to be in the league.
Yeah, but at least not initially. Not initially. I mean, if you win a ring early on in the career, you probably won't care about the ring up again. You just care about the money. But if you've been getting that money, then later on in the career, you'll be like, okay, I don't want to leave without a ring. And the perfect example of that is Trevor Ariza.
Oh man,
when Trevor left the Lakers championship team for more money, like nobody does that, bro. But he won so early in his career, he didn't care.
Right. But I truly think the wrong mindset, it could make or break your career depending on the player and situation. So like, let me give you an example, like Austin Rivers, for instance, right? Austin Rivers, they come in the league.
The greatest hoop mixtape ever.
That was Mr. Ball's life. Right? That dude, you know what I mean? If you like you watching them, you thinking, but he about to be a star. Like you thinking he about to set the league on fire, right? He come in the league, and he said this before, I think, in interviews, that he was expecting to be that type of star, but it just was never materialized, and people didn't look at him that way. And he had to eventually realize, but it's dudes in the league who either better than me or who, you know, teams just favor more. So if I don't find a quick way to just find a way to stick, then I could be out the league. You know what I mean? And he just actually had, you know, a couple of seasons ago, like, you know,
Daddy used to put him on the bench.
Yeah,
you want to put him on the bench.
A game when he was playing for the Clippers, that game when Chris Paul and Blake was hurt, that series against Portland when they was hurt, and Austin Rivers was just playing hard. And I remember he got like hit in the face or something. And he had like a sword.
Yeah, 30 or something like that game.
Right, and he came back and played. Right, and then everyone was like, yeah, he have hard. That was the first time people started actually smacking him and saying, okay, yeah, he could also play in the league. You're right, he was struggling before that to find his way in the league.
Yeah, but because most people ain't gonna get handed the keys. Like if you dudes will know, okay, they got, but even dudes even hesitant to give LeBron the keys when he first got to Cleveland. You saw them old interviews with Harris Meisner. That niggas was wilding, boy. Boy. You know high school a couple of times, huh? I see you the lead on to you.
I mean, if you go back to that space and time, you can't blame them.
So I
Yeah, I
actually
got that
saw
page, yeah.
someone say last week that they actually were trying to dim the hype for him so it doesn't swallow him up. Not that they thought he wasn't going to be the king. They actually were trying to, and I think it's bullshit. I think
Of
it's
course.
bullshit. But
I
they were
think, yeah.
saying they
But-
thought it was going to be too much of a pressure on them, so they tried to bring it down a bit.
Yeah, but I mean, to be fair, and to low point, I actually don't really blame them too much for doing that because up to that point, no high schooler had ever really been good.
Kevin Garnett.
Hold on now. Don't say they
No.
never
And
No,
come
they never been good.
fire.
What?
Kevin
Wait,
And come and set the league on.
Garnett tear the
And then
league
he
up.
set
Kobe
the
at
league
that
on
point
fire.
done had like 3 championships, bro. Kobe is a
No, but Kobe,
he's a high school
Kobe
player.
rookie year, find his way though. Kobe
Tracy
rookie year,
McGrady.
Tracy McGrady rookie year, he's finding his way. Ain't no one come and set the league on fire right away. That's what I'm trying to say.
And then to be honest, you had a lot more buzz from high school than you did.
Oh yeah, definitely now.
For me,
Get up more pass.
for me, Brian.
We talked
It's
about, but
for me, boy.
one of the biggest ones I talked about is Sebastian
Eddie Curry.
Telfair. I thought Sebastian was going to be something. I thought he was going to be so great.
Hey, the Knicks
Yeah,
could
man.
find them, boy. Knicks could find them.
Listen, don't bring the Knicks up on that. That ain't got nothing to do with the Knicks. He from New York. That ain't got nothing to do with the Knicks. We need to invite Kwame on the board for real.
Y'all could kill. Y'all could kill, boy.
We need to invite Kwame on the
But that's how
That's
accent
what I'm going
probably kill me. Boy. But speaking of
No.
inviting, I see I get some requests because I posted a picture earlier. We have other people who are asking to be guests, and this season, I ain't gonna lie, that's what we all about. We got Timmy here now. Timmy has some good connections. Hopefully, he could get us some guests, even if they just slide through 20, 30 minutes. Gralyn, Sans, everybody know people in the sports world. This was Ronnie who hit me up. Ronnie on the island. But Ronnie is one of the only guys, let me say this. Ronnie is one of the only guys I know who took physical education serious. Ronnie went to school and took up physical education. Everyone else laughed at him. And we is like, Ronnie, why would you come to school and do PE? And now, Ronnie is a PE teacher on the island living his best life. So I was like, boy, Ronnie was ahead of his time, you know. Like, we couldn't see it, but like, Ronnie was ahead of his time, bro. But shout out Ronnie, he said he wants to be a guest, so we'll set that up in the near future. We know he can talk some foolishness, but Ronnie usually he likes to talk basketball as well. And during the week, I guess, like I say, if anybody else have any guest requests or someone else who they feel could slide through, I know Ethan's still on the island. I don't want to push it, but you know, Dog might say he want to help the young brothers out. This all now.
You're younger than us.
That is true. That is true. And we on a virtual platform now, so we can reach people all over the place. If y'all got people who y'all know off the school, who in that field, who playing college ball, college football, running track, whatever, you can reach out to your boys and say, hey, bro, I doing a podcast. Give me 20 minutes or something like that. It'll just be good to have them on, and then they can share it with their school population and stuff, and we could just go from there. We don't know how far it go.
Shout out to Aiden.
I saw I think they having the big three the end of this weekend. Then the big three came in.
Playoffs are the 28th.
Atlantis.
Yeah.
Okay.
Playoffs
So
and finals.
that'll give us something hot topic for next Sunday.
Yeah, I reached out to Atlantis now because I know when they went to Indiana, they didn't really allow media. So I asked Atlantis now, they letting media in, like local media.
Quick question, does Kwame play Big Three?
Who?
Which one?
Kwame.
Kwame? No, not this season.
Everything cool.
Not this year. He used to play it though.
Okay, I know
He used to play.
Who's
Jared,
MVP? I saw Joey.
yeah. Jared Jack
Right, I
is playing, and he also is going to be a coach on whose team?
I saw that.
Because there are like 4 NBA coaches currently in the Big Three. Pargo is one. Pargo is coaching for someone. Jared Jack is
Jared Pargo in the Big Three.
yeah, boy.
Coaching, I think.
Yeah, Jared Jack.
No, he playing in the Big Three, right?
Jared Jack is going to the Suns. He's replacing Willie Green, who took over the Pelicans. Gennaro
Pargo the
Pargo
bucket, buddy.
was going to coach for the Pacers, so he's going to coach with Rick Carlisle.
Awesome.
Right now, Pargo and Jack are playing in the playoffs, and they're going to be coaching in 6 weeks. Training camp was in 6 weeks, so the basketball don't stop. Basketball don't stop.
Ball don't stop.
This is supposed to be the season to bring the schedule back to.
Yeah,
normal,
it is.
right?
It is back to full that they do now.
Yeah, because I think they have restrictions, but a lot of cities now. A lot of people, we have a high vaccine rate.
But
a lot of teams now being a lot of vaccination.
But I'm
I see the
thinking
NFL
about,
is fully vaccinated.
Falcons at 100%.
Yeah,
I'm thinking about injuries though. I mean, players were already trying to advocate for a decrease amount of games, and now they already had a season like that.
They decreased travel, but yeah, money gotta make the last.
I gonna say you want to make all these big $40-50 million contracts, but don't want to play every night.
The new TV deal is in about 2 to 3 years. So,
that's another page. Fellas, then we understand making 50, 60, 70
and then
million.
if they expand, if we get 2 more expansion games, they gotta go more. They might have to do more games as well. So, Kansas City, Seattle, Vegas, and Tampa. That's the 4.
By Vegas.
Tampa did well with Toronto with the Raptors. Kansas City been trying to get a team. We all know Seattle, and then Vegas because of the summer league.
Hey, the producers playing music. I think that music should rap, but I'm trying to figure out what the hell this is.
Just send me the back single, but they want me come through.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you coming through.
Yes.
We could have you on more. I think Pun said we could have up to 9 on the actual thing at one time, the actual platform. So like I said, we probably get some guessing. Going forward, I don't know. We can start expanding more because we spend a lot of time on basketball, even though we touched track this week. But we got to get more on local sports and also the big 3 sports, basketball, football, and a little bit of baseball, you know. The Yankees now on a hot streak. We running the AL East, but it is what it is.
Shout out New York.
Yeah, the Yankees are the best team in New York right now.
Shout out New York. New York doing big things right now. Shout out New York. Anyway, it's fun rocking with y'all again another week. You know what I mean? We'll be back again next week. More takes, more analysis. You know how the thing go. Signing off. It's your boy Sanzo.
Shout out to Solid Pod Network and Rock Nation. Rock Authority, Rock Authority. I don't know what I mean.
Yes, sir.
All right, we out.
Yeah, sponsorship's available.
Who's 55 anyway? Yeah, let them know that sponsorship is available, you know. But they say reach one, teach one. You know, I trying to get all them, what you call them? Sponsorship ad. In the arms of an angel. You feel, if you feel nice, you feel good, come and sponsor the show. Be ready to go. But until next week, y'all be safe. I'll take care. And we out.